My, what do we have here? Spying on me, I see. You must be some kind of pervert or something. I've heard that humans can be curious, but I never expected this kind of behavior. You seem lost somehow. Perhaps you're who I've been searching for so long. I have an idea, but I do want you to know something first. I hope you don't mind my language because I may say some questionable things. Do you mind being spoiled once in a while? Because I don't mind it one bit. Just know to give me sweet things and you'll do just fine. Most importantly, I will tell you what's on my mind whether you want to hear it or not. Don't be afraid. I'll make sure no harm comes to you. Now that you know what to expect, I have one more question for you. Will you be my darling? What do you say?
Hello and welcome to Dub Talk, where a group of children come together to pilot giant sex box and talk about dubs, both old and recent.
I'm sorry. I'm already dead. Continue.
Okay, so I'm Jet, and tonight is a very special episode of Dub Talk because you see, after years of being caught in licensing limbo thanks to Gynax, we're finally here to talk about the dub for Neon.
Wait. This is...
Whoa, hold up.
Wait a second.
Are you sure your
would
notes
appear
are accurate?
I was correct. Okay, my sources have just informed me that I'm actually here to talk about something called Darling in the FranXX. Well, anyway, joining me for my escapades on I Can't Believe It's Not Ava, we have...
I'm detecting a running theme already.
Gee, I wonder what it is.
We have Steph.
What's up? I have my inner Futoshi guy right now because I basically rushed home from work and I'm currently eating my dinner. Don't mind me.
Hardy.
Yo. That's all.
And of course, Andrew.
I've been doing this podcast for so long, and tonight, all of my sex jokes are for critical, analytical purposes. God bless Japan.
Wait, this isn't Panty and Stocking. What are you talking about?
Oh, you'll see, Stephanie. You'll see.
Oh, will I? Will I?
Are we going to have another redux of the Shimonetta episode?
Oh, God.
Help us?
It's not going to be
not?
that bad. No.
I'd hope not.
I wasn't even there, and I haven't even heard the episode. I don't want anything to do with it. I don't want to know what happened.
Let's put it like this. If Shimonetta is basically opening a dirty magazine in school, Darling in the FranXX is much more like art house auteur, like dirty filmmaking.
Really?
Okay, so before we dig too deep into the sex jokes, I swear that might explain what this show is about.
Are you sure we shouldn't be balls deep?
God damn it! Can you sense a running theme, ladies and gentlemen? I'm sorry, Mr. Director, the shit is already going nuts. And we're not even 5 minutes in. I apologize.
Okay, so, in the distant future, the land is ruined and humanity establishes the mobile port city Plantation. Pilots produced inside Plantation live inside Mistleton, also known as the Birdcage. Children live there knowing nothing of the outside world or the freedom of the sky. Their lives consist of battling to carry out missions, and their enemies are giant life forms known as the Collapsosaurs. And the children pilot giant robots called FranXX to face off against them. For the children, riding the FranXX proves their existence. A boy named Hero is called Code 016 and was once known as a prodigy. However, he has fallen behind and his existence seems unnecessary, and not piloting a FranXX is the same as ceasing to exist. However, one day a mysterious girl known as 02 appears before him with 2 horns growing out of her head, and asks Hero if he wants to become her darling, and be granted the chance to pilot once again.
So
what's a darling?
It's been...
No.
Apparently the kids don't know that either.
Yeah, I know. That's why I asked.
What is hand-holding? What is kissing? Here's the thing. There are a lot of there are a lot of terms in the show that the show kind of just uses oh so casually when it's not quite explained. Like, a pilot is a parasite. Docking is called kissing, but kissing is also called kissing. And then doing...
Apparently there's something about becoming an adult. Because that was brought up in episode 5, and we don't know what the fuck that is or what it entails.
Also, the pilots are also split up by Pistol and Stamen.
Yep.
So
that is also true.
Let me just say, this show is a couple of different things in my mind. Subtle, it is not.
No.
No.
It's not. I'm sorry, it really isn't.
Alright, okay, so I guess we will kick things off here with our ADR Director and Scriptwriter. And since tonight is an Impressions episode, we do have predictions, so who wants to go first?
I already volunteered to go last, because there's reasons.
Alright.
Okay, yeah, you did.
Okay, so, I had 3 different predictions for ADR Director. My first prediction was a sort of... This one, I was kind of like, you know what? I could see this person doing literally any kind of show, and I've seen some pictures. I think they may be a fan of Mecha, so on a whim, I picked a man named Clifford Chapin. And as for secondary picks, I had Jeremy Inman because of his work on stuff like Heavy Object, and Aaron Dismuke because I think he's done some action stuff before, maybe.
Non-baka.
Okay, did you have anything, Hardy?
Yes, I also picked Clifford Chapin because this sort of thing seemed right up his alley, and he really wasn't working on anything else that I could see him doing this particular season.
Okay, as for me, because this is technically an Aniplex show in Japan, and Aniplex of America was promoting it for a long while, I wasn't sure where this was actually going to be done, so I made 2 cast lists. One for Texas and one in the event of Bangzoo.
Because Jed is smart and comes prepared, guys.
Okay,
Better than half of us do.
Okay, so in the event of a Funimation dub, for ADR script, I said Josh Skrill, and for director, I said Vic Mignogna, because I really like the job of Judy Tyson, and I figured, hey, he should get the opportunity to do something else, so why not?
Huh.
Okay, and then in case of Bang Zoom Break Blast, I said Alex Von David because Kill a Kill.
Right.
Fair.
Right, makes sense. I guess that leaves me.
Yep.
So, I'll start with my writer picks. Both these writers that I predicted for this show, I felt like the material would be suitable for their writing skills, and since both of them are general, from what I can tell, anime fans and also rather bit nerdy, they can have some fun with it. One of my writer picks was Matt Shipman, and I also had Josh Greeley as my other writer pick. In terms of director, I don't have a prediction. I got fucking spoiled. Because here's what happened. So, after being in a month of dubby editing hell, the day that this was announced, I decided to start marathoning stuff in Japanese so I can make predictions so I wouldn't be spoiled. Darling in the Franxx was one of the last ones that I was going to do this for. But then, announcements came with rolling chairs. God damn it. And, I got tagged in some tweets about it, and they were like, hey, look at this. I'm like, son of a bitch. But at the same time, looking at it, because if I had been following the winter stuff and wasn't stuck in dubby editing hell, considering this was the last thing announced, it's kind of obvious, for one. And for 2, it's like this person hadn't been announced yet, so I mean, the material itself, it's like, okay, let's face it, this is the perfect director for this show. To which, by the way, you snarky little Jagov,
Who's behind the swivel chair, Jen?
Yes, please.
Who's
Who's
behind
the-
the
Okay, so I
swivel
guess
chair,
we'll stop
Jen?
being obtuse about this.
Jen, who's in the swivel chair before I...
Oh, hello. I'm Anime's Clifford Chapin. Welcome to Studio I at Funimation.
It is, in fact, Clifford Chapin as our director.
Yes, everyone,
And
I know
for
that
our-
Clifford Chapin is directing the show, including Clifford Chapin. I know you're directing this fucking show. Damn it.
Okay, and our script writers here are Alex Muniz and Joel Bergen. Okay, Clifford Chapin has directed such series as New Game, Divine Gate, Gosick, and My Hero Academia Season 2. Alex Muniz has done scripts for series such as Psychopath, Shibidata, and Toriko, while Joel Bergen has done scripts for Judy Tyson, Ping Pong the Animation, and Speed Grabber. So, thoughts?
So, yeah, as soon as I saw this was going to be Cliff doing this, I'm like, yeah, sounds about right. Because, here's the thing, with some directors, we're a little more, like, doubtful of their work, or we are less familiar with. I've kind of come to this realization, like, this isn't even biased because, like, have acquainted ourselves with Mr. Chapin. Anytime I see his name attached to a show, I'm kind of just like, that's probably going to be interesting. It's probably going to sound pretty damn good. And you know what? That's kind of it. The fact that that's my standard now kind of says a lot. And the same applies for Darling in the Frank. As for the writing, writing is... Okay, I will say the show adaptation writing to English is good. The series writing is,
Questionable.
It is... How many times can you physically say, you're just like me, without doing visual symbolism already, which is frustrating because the show's really good at doing, like, visual storytelling and framing, yet the script itself is just so very, like, unsubtle and in your face. It's like, you're my darling, I can't be without my darling, or you're the same as me, or she must feel like how I feel, or I'm trapped in a cage. It's like, redundancy is redundant. That being said, the adaptation from Japanese to English is pretty dang good. A lot of the performances give their all, and I think it's pretty good. Another note, I want to add a quick thing. I actually kind of like how exhausted they sound after linking and or struggling to link. I know there's the obvious, like, that is sexual, sweating, and whatnot, but I like how they add that they are exhausted and tired from the act of doing it, and it impacts them and their performance, and I liked hearing that. And yeah, that's my piece. Good job, Cliff.
Hardy?
Yeah, I have to agree. I think the acting was really well done, just in general. I didn't really notice all the... I did notice the complete unsubtlety that Andrew brought out in the script. Like, it's about as subtle as a lead brick.
You're telling me.
But yeah, that's not really the adaptive writer's fault, because the series is so, wonky at times.
For sure.
Yeah, it flows really well. Everything is well acted. Everything sounds reasonable. So yeah, I don't really have any complaints.
Okay, I guess I'll go next. Alright, so I've been following a lot of Clifford Chapin's work ever since he got started with Divine Gate, and while I haven't seen every dub he's directed, he's generally proven to be a solid director, and I'm glad he finally got to take the reins of, like, a big project all by himself.
Yep.
So I like a lot of the casting choices here. It's a good mix between Dallas and Houston actors, and pretty much all the performances really work. I don't have quite as much to say about the script, as what you guys said. It doesn't really take any notable liberties one way or the other. But for a show as obtuse as this one, it's probably for the best the writers didn't try going out of their way to interpret anything, so glad they made that call.
Does that leave me?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So first of all, I apologize for being yelly for like 5 seconds.
No, you're not.
I'm sorry. Cliff, I love you. You're snarky as shit sometimes. So, I feel like I have to start my thoughts on directing and writing with disclosing this. Mecha and sci-fi is probably my least favorite genre. And here's another thing I should probably disclose, and people are going to yell at me for later. I haven't seen Evangelion.
Well, I haven't either.
I also haven't. Wow, we are all a group of people who have not seen Evangelion.
Whoops!
I'm the only one. I'm so lucky.
This is why you're the
That's
host.
why you're the one in the Gendo chair.
No, it's... I've never seen Ava, and I also refuse to go anywhere near it with a 10-foot pole. You can yell at me later.
It's called a lance, Steph. Get with the terminology.
Shut the fuck up. No, but I have seen, for me, science fiction, and especially mecha series, they're very hard for me to get into. Because a lot of it, for me, is the same standard fare. Same thing over and over again. And Ava is also one of those weird, controversial things where it's like you either absolutely love it or absolutely hate it. And I refuse to jump into that fight. That's why I don't want to watch it. But I have seen its quote-unquote bastard cousin, RahXephon, and I love the ever-loving shit out of it. So, just getting that part of the way. But, I mean, there's a reason, a strong reason why I gave Clifford one of my directing awards in the W's this past year. He, from what I can gather, and it definitely comes in a lot here, is he has a really amazing sense of what he wants for the characters and the performances of this show. And he also understands the subtleties and the not-so-subtle subtleties and context, and he's able to make them, quote-unquote, stay subtle. Because if I remember right, he has publicly stated that he has seen and he loves Evangelion. So, obviously, this is probably a really big passion project for him and a pet project for him. He knows what he wants to do and emulate it. What else did I write? He also pays a lot of attention to detail. That's always a theme that I always pick up when it comes to Cliff's directing work. He pays attention to the small stuff. So that way, if it's supposed to stay subtle, it stays subtle. If it's something that really has to have an impact, it'll have an impact. And that attention to detail is very present here in a show that's not that subtle. Sorry, it's not. I also like the fact, similar to what Jet was bringing up, he has both Dallas and Houston actors, which is pretty awesome, but in terms of the main cast of kids, a lot of it is younger or maybe underutilized actors for the most part, which is very interesting and intriguing to me. Sorry, I'm trying to remember what my notes had. In terms of the writing itself, the writing does still make the subtle context a bit more clear compared to the Japanese, because I know we were joking around earlier and talking about the whole kissing of the Plantations thing. I actually didn't quite get that in the Japanese. Maybe, I don't remember if I was not paying attention or something else was going on. But it was a lot more clear when I was watching in the dub. So even though the context and the subtleties aren't that subtle, the Alex and Joel, which, first of all, Jet, I love the fact that you each brought up something that's fairly similar, aka Shimonetta and Speedcraft in their repertoires here.
I didn't realize. Yeah.
He did. I think these writers, the Alex and Joel, they're good fits. They get the material that they're working with, and they know. Basically, everyone on the staff knows what this show is, and they're not gonna overdo it. They're not gonna underplay it. They are going to play it exactly as it is intended, which I think in this situation with this kind of show, that's the best possible move that they could make. But I do want to give credit for the writing for making some of the subtleties at least a bit more clear than what I saw in the Japanese. But staffing wise, I'm sold.
Cool.
Like, it's standard fare at this point. When I say the words, I'm perfectly fine with Clifford Chapin as a director. He has not disappointed me at all. So, like, yeah. I mean, there's not much more to say.
Real talk, I'm all for, like, future cast announcements being done in such a over-dramatized fashion as the chair.
What he needs to do,
the chair needs to be there all the time.
No. I'm really mad he didn't just go for the gender.
No, wait, Hardy, what were you gonna say?
That's too obvious.
He needs a fluffy white cat to sit in his lap while he strokes it menacingly.
Oh,
Talk
just
to
get
Dawn,
Cubby.
borrow one of her cats.
Yes.
Or Cubby, yes.
And then zoom in Dr. Evil style.
No, but clearly the best part of this entire show is the swivel chair during the cast announcement. You have to have that chair all the time now. I'm sorry.
I don't think that's the best part of the show, but I think that definitely was like, you know what? I'm on board with this cast. And you know what? Spoiler alert, I'm on board with this cast.
Spoilers. Not so spoilers.
I guess I'd say as good as we're going to dive into our cast.
Indeed.
Oh my.
God damn it.
We're not ready to ram into each other yet.
Son of a bitch!
We're going to talk about the people that tell you to practice safe robot driving.
This is not consensual. I did not consent to this. God damn it.
Okay, so first up we have Nana, Hachi, and Dr. FranXX. Nana and Hachi serve as supervisors for the kids, while Dr. FranXX is, well, he's the guy who makes FranXX.
And he's also a pervert, clearly.
Really? I never would have guessed.
No.
Right,
Clutch the pearls, what a sneaky thing to do.
So, did anyone have predictions for these people?
I'm just thinking about how presumptuous is it? He named the robots after himself. Like, he is not a modest man by any means.
That's okay.
You're going
that sort of thing all the time.
You're digging too deep into this right now. You're thinking too hard about this.
I don't think I'm digging deep enough, to be honest.
No, you're not. Yes, you stop it.
Okay.
Stop it. I'm just gonna talk about my predictions. Is that okay?
Sure.
Before Andrew does something stupid.
Go ahead.
So, I actually only had predictions for Dr. FranXX and Nana. I didn't have anyone for Hachi, because when I watched the Japanese, Hachi wasn't a character that really stood out to me. So, for Nana, Nana kind of reminded me a lot of, which is weird to say, I don't remember her name, but Andrew's gonna have to help me out here. Danganronpa 3.
There's a bunch of fucking characters. Oh, are you talking about Colleen's character?
I am talking about Colleen's character.
Okay, so you thought Colleen's character.
I thought Colleen's character. I had Colleen Klingenberg as my prediction for Nana. And Dr. FranXX, I hope it's not weird of me to say that the characters for some reason reminded me of Makarov from Fairy Tail.
No, that's not weird.
I had our Bruce Elliott because of that.
I also had our Bruce Elliott kinda thinking the same thing, actually.
And this is why we're twins. This is why we're twins. Not biological, but... same way.
Any other predictions, Andrew?
Let's see. As for Dr. Frank, my other prediction was Greg Dulce. I don't know if it's Dulce or...
Greg Dolce?
Dolce. Greg Dolce is who I had for Frank.
That's a good choice.
I was thinking very much similar to how he sounds in One Piece and or Ancient Magus Bride. As for Nana, I was thinking in terms of somebody who was an authoritative, older-sounding figure, but still definitely sounded like feminine and strong when it needed to. So I thought Kristen McGuire and Jamie Markey. As for Hachi, I genuinely forgot he was there, and 4 to 5 episodes in, I kind of still do.
Okay, it's interesting you said Jamie Markey for Nana, because that's also who I predicted.
Huzzah!
Yep, I also... Okay, and in the event of Bang Zoom... okay, so basically how I made my casting list was I casted it before the show came out, so I basically looked at character designs and, like, seiyuu roles to try and guess these.
Okay.
Okay, so some of these are probably going to sound a little weird later on. Okay, so anyway, for my Bang Zoom prediction for Nana was Amanda Miller. For Hachi, I said David Wald if Texas and Ray Chase if Bang Zoom. And for Dr. FranXX, I said Steve Kramer if Bang Zoom. And then Kent Williams if Texas because he hasn't gotten to play a kooky old guy in a while. So.
Nice.
Okay, Hardy?
Yes. I too also had Colleen Clinkenbeard for Nana,
Whoop, whoop.
and I also threw in Caitlin Glass at the last second, just in case.
I can see it.
Yep.
And
I can see it too.
Dr. FranXX, I really wanted to hear Kenny Green's perverted voice.
Ooh. Now that would have been something I'd love to see too.
Yeah.
Because I haven't seen Desert Punk still, and you've told me the glorious story about Rain Spider so many times.
Oh, yes.
I gotta check if that's on my backlog list or not. I think it might not be. I should fix that.
But yeah, no, Dr. FranXX seems like a kind of dirty old man, so I kind of wanted to hear him, Kenny Green, do his old man voice, kind of perv it up a little bit. So.
Too bad we've only seen Dr. FranXX in just the first episode, though.
Right.
That's kind of depressing.
He shows up a little bit later.
Okay, good. He does come back. Good.
Yeah, I'm no longer caught up on the sub anymore. I'm basically, like, caught up to where the dub is now.
Same. Did you have any other predictions, though, Hardy?
No, I did not make a prediction for Hachi because he's literal exposition boy. Like,
He honestly
put
is.
Pretty much anyone there.
Okay.
Like, push a button, I will tell you the current events. Today's temperature is 58 degrees, slightly sunny.
No. Hold on. I gotta pull this shit. Okay, Google. What is the weather?
Currently in Quincy it's 42 and partly cloudy. Tonight it's predicted to be 42 and mostly cloudy.
And while we wait for that to
I'm
make a
sorry
point.
I had to. I'm sorry
Okay,
I had to. Push the button.
So anyway, we're playing Nana. We have Michelle Rojas. For Hachi, we have Eric Vale, and for Dr. FranXX, we have Kent Williams. So Michelle Rojas is no stranger to the Funimation dub at this point, and you may have also heard her as Mio in Keijo, Akaru in The Rolling Girls, and Wendy in Show by Rock. Eric Vale has of course been around basically forever, and some of his other roles include Major Kimberly in both versions of Fullmetal Alchemist, Future Trunks in the Dragon Ball franchise, and Saikyo in Yu Yu Hakusho. Kent Williams has also been around forever, and you may have also heard him as the Supreme Kai in the Dragon Ball franchise, Akisame in Kenichi the Mightiest Disciple, and Captain Kuro in One Piece.
Man, I forgot he was the Supreme Kai. It's really not a voice I usually hear him do anymore. That's why it's surprising. Okay, so I'll go quickly because it's as simple as Kent Williams is really good as Dr. FranXX. He's an old, authoritative guy who's got a really weird name and really weird robots, and he's also a bit of a pervy McPerverson for some reason. Hachi, Eric Vale is Eric Vale, and Eric Vale is Eric Vale and good at Eric Vale. I really don't have anything to say about fucking Hachi. I'm sorry, he's nothing. As for Nana, Michelle Rojas. I like Michelle Rojas. She does a pretty good job being the sort of like stern, authoritative figure who spends the entire show telling everybody no. And before we move on, I gotta say, the adults and the people running this mecha battle shit are the most incompetent motherfuckers I've ever seen. They are literally preventing anything from happening for like 3 episodes. It's like, hey, it's literally the exact opposite problem of Ava. It's literally, get in the robot, Shinji. It's like, wait, don't get in the robot. Why? 'Cause
Hero,
Daddy
don't go in the robot. Hero, don't get in the robot.
Get out of
Hero,
the robot.
get the fuck out of there.
Why are you in the robot?
Why are you in the robot? Get the fuck out.
Stop trying to fuck that pink girl. We gotta let these children die. They are the most incompetent people. It's like, why are you not sending them out? Oh, because Daddy tells us no. It's like, there's already enough sexual metaphor, but also Daddy...
Side note, can I throw an extra side note in there? What up Chris Sabat as Papa?
Oh yeah, Chris Sabat's really good
Side
at
note.
being, Papa Coop.
That was something I didn't expect.
Papa KKK.
Oh my god! Did you seriously go there?
Yes, I went there. Like,
that was bad.
Look, we're going for hardcore, like... I think what they're trying to go for is, like, the adults are essentially, like, depriving and forcing children to be in this position for themselves. Like, I think it's a metaphor for, like, reproduction or yada yada, or forcing the younger generation... All I can say is this society right now is confusing and dumb, and I don't get it, and these characters are weird, but the people performing them do a good job. I'll pass it on to you, Hardy.
Oh, yes. I have to agree that Nana and Hachi really don't make much of an impression because Hachi is literal I can't speak anymore.
He's exposition dump?
Exposition dump, yes. And he's just sort of there. Eric Vale is Eric Vale in Eric Vale, the movie.
The movie / anime.
Starring Eric Vale, yes.
I'd watch it.
And,
I would too, actually.
Yeah. Nana's and Michelle Rojas as Nana is really good as that sort of motherly big sister role. You know, always looking out for you, even though, you know, you gotta be strict with them, but you gotta have some level of maternal instinct. So, and Kent Williams as Dr. Franks is an old perv, so that's fun.
Okay, Steph?
Well, it's probably good to get the easy one out of the way. Because like everybody is saying, Eric Vale is Eric Vale is Eric Vale, playing Eric Vale, voicing Eric Vale. I mean, I like him as
a guest appearance by Eric Vale.
Yes. directed and written by Eric Vale. No. Basically, like everyone else has been saying, Eric Vale, I like Eric Vale as Hachi, but the problem becomes that Hachi is just there. And he's unfortunately serving as the necessary exposition dump, which is a shame. And, because, again, when I was saying earlier when I was making predictions, I didn't even make one for Hachi because that character was so forgettable. And Eric Vale doesn't make Hachi forgettable, thank God, but Hachi doesn't also do that much. So it's a double-edged sword there for him to be playing the exposition dump that's kind of in the background, which is a shame because we all know Eric Vale's a phenomenal actor. It's just the character is the problem. Ken Williams as Dr. Franks. I mean, I love it when he occasionally gets to go full on crazy. I mean, I'm gonna throw this out there because the episode will be up by this point. Him as Peep-a-Me. Pop Team Epic.
Oh boy.
Sweet baby Jesus.
Yeah.
When I saw him when I heard him in Mariandel, I was fucking done. I died, and it was great. No, so, like, him being able to play these fun out-of-the-box characters is always a great time, rather than compared to, like, the stoic classic characters we're used to him playing. It's good, and it's nice to have him expand his repertoire a little bit. I'm just more disappointed as of right now in the doubt we haven't seen Dr. Franks for more than one episode. But I really, really want to talk about Nana, because, like Hardy was saying, Nana she is an authoritative figure, but she's also, like, the motherly, sisterly caretaker, I guess is the best way to put it. She's in charge of all these kids. These hormonal teenage children who don't know what is what. When clearly subtlety is subtlety. But Michelle Rojas as this authoritative yet, at least from what I can tell, she cares about these kids. She really does. Like, she doesn't just see them as tools for these fights against the Klaxosaurs, which is good, because with the adults, we need to have someone like that. Or else the kids are just fucking screwed. In more ways than one. Even I had to do it, unfortunately. This is how low I've sunk today, ladies and gentlemen. But I really like Michelle Rojas' portrayal of Nana as of right now, because she has the authoritative
voice and authoritative voice and presence to her when she's telling these kids, y'all need to listen to me. Hero, you're not going in the damn robot. Stop it. But she also cares about these kids, and she's talking to them and making sure they take care of themselves and are like fed properly. They go to sleep. That they're taken care of. And I appreciate Michelle being that motherly caretaker kind of role. It's different because I haven't really seen Michelle pull off a motherly caretaker kind of role yet, at least as far as I can recall. So it's definitely... What?
Shonen Maid.
Who the hell was she in Shonen Maid? I'm blanking now.
She was the mom in Shonen Maid.
I'm dying again. Shit. Oh, fuck. Ophia's mom?
Yeah.
This is how long it's been since I've seen Shonen Maid.
It's been a minute.
I apologize. It's been a hot minute. I apologize. But, let me rephrase that then. It's been a while. It's been a while. And it's always refreshing because I feel like she does really well with the motherly kind of figure for these kids. But yeah. I don't have much else to say. I think out of the trio, I liked Michelle the most. But Eric Vale's still a talented voice actor. I'm just... I'm disappointed with this character. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, that's fair. So as for me, I don't have too much to say about Michelle Rojas here, since there isn't too much for her character yet. But I do think her performance has been good so far, and I can't really think of anything negative to say. As for Eric Vale, I think that putting him here was an interesting little casting choice. It's the story commander type isn't really the sort of thing you kind of associate with Eric Vale, so it's kind of nice he can play a completely serious character for a change, even if that character is kind of in the background.
That's fair.
Yeah, it was also pretty nice to see Kent Williams here as Dr. Frank, since, like I was saying before, he doesn't get to do kooky old guys that often, so it was another good change of pace, and while with Nana, neither of these guys really had too much to do yet. The performances have worked well enough that I'm looking forward to when they do actually get to do something. Okay, but that's enough about the adults. It's time to talk about the kids.
The real reason why we're here, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, so we're going to get into our first pair of parasites, the Chlorophytum team. God, I'm going to pronounce these names so hard.
It's alright.
Okay, so we have code 196 Ikuno and code 326 Mitsuru. Ikuno is very calm and insightful, whereas Mitsuru is also sort of quiet, but harbors an inferiority complex towards Hiro. So, predictions.
Alright, so as for my predictions, scroll. Ikuno. For Ikuno... Oh, wait. Okay, I had Jamie Marchi... I forgot how to pronounce her name. I had Jamie for this role, as well as Afia Yu, and for Mitsuru, I had Joel McDonald and Josh Greeley.
Okay.
Okay. Steph?
I love how you said Afia Yu for Ikuno, because Afia was one of my predictions for Ikuno. We're on a roll again. And then I also actually said Terry Doty, because Ikuno is pretty quiet. She seems like a very smart girl. She's very intelligent. Compared to all the other girls in this cast, though, she's the most quiet of the group. So I figured both Afia and Terry would pull that off wonderfully. Mitsuru! Forgive me, Cliff. You were one of my predictions here. I'm not sorry. Because Mitsuru... I mean, he seems like a stuck-up snob. Kind of a
stuck-up snob.
No, for some reason the word pretentious is coming to mind. He's not pretentious. Stop it. Don't go that road. No, he's a stuck-up snob, like Jet was saying, and it describes him perfectly. He has an inferiority complex. So, I was like, have I ever heard Cliff as a stuck-up snob before? I don't think so. He's going here. And then, in the same vein, I'm like, who else could possibly fit this character? Who else could work well? I actually put Rico Fajardo in here as well.
Okay.
Okay, could have seen that. Hardy?
Mitsuru is probably the only character I did not make a prediction for because he left so little impact on me.
Really?
Yeah. And for Ikuno, I put Genie Torado here.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. As for me, okay, my Texas prediction for Ikuno was Tia Ballard. My Bang Zoom prediction was Laura Post. For Mitsuru, my Texas prediction was David Mills, and my Bang Zoom prediction was, God, I'm probably going to bounce this again, Koi Dao.
No, I think you got it right, actually. I think it's just Koidao.
Okay, cool.
See, I didn't
Okay.
I didn't want to go the route of Damon. I'm like, that's too obvious. Let me think outside the box a little bit on that. Let's face it, Damon can pull off anything.
You're not wrong.
He could have played Dr. FranXX even.
He could have played Dr. FranXX. That's what's scary.
Yep, okay, so anyway, playing Ikuno, we have Leia Clark, and in a surprise twist for Mitsuru, we have Bryson Vegas in his first Funimation.
Holy
Bonkers.
shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so Leia Clark is another Funimation regular, and some of her other work includes Arya in Arya the Scarlet Ammo, Milfa in Beat the Vandal Buster, and, of course, Mavis Vermillion in Fairy Tail. Bryson Vegas, on the other hand, is known for his roles in Sentai dubs. Some of his other work includes Shoyo Hinata in Haikyuu, Belle in Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon, and Megan's favorite character, Darling Coon in Monster Hunter.
Jack,
I'll be darned if I can remember his actual name.
That's fair.
It's Darling Coon. Like, there's no exception. That is his name.
now Jet. You know I love you, but I haven't been able to do this in a while, and I really want to take this opportunity. Let me put on my fedora.
Oh, fuck, what'd you do now? You done it now, son.
Well, actually, it's
Ayo.
pronounced Bryson Bogus.
It's Bogus, yes. It's
Okay.
Bryson Bogus.
Okay, that's totally fine. Like, I actually had no idea how it
And now we know.
Okay.
Ta-da.
Okay, so since you had that little outburst, Hardy, would you like to go first?
Oh, sure, I would. They both fit into their perspective archetypes very well. Ikuno is very quiet and reserved, and Leah has shown us in the past that she's really good at doing those types of characters. Sort of like a much more reserved Miss Kobayashi, almost. And Bryson is really well as the stuck-up little snot who he wants to be the hero, but he just can't, and he wants to be the center of attention, and he's jealous of this one guy who everyone thinks is crap, and he wants to be. He's the quiet Jagoff in the show. We'll get to the loud one later on.
Yeah, I gotta say, I love the fact that we have two different kinds of snarky Jagoffs in this show.
All right.
Right. But they both fit into their archetypes very well and offer solid performances.
I would say they fit into a cockpit very well too, though these two seem to have trouble when it comes to personal, intimate docking. And here's the thing.
Andrew.
Here's the thing. Ikuno seems to have trouble with it, and instead of being supportive, Mitsuru is a little deadbeat motherfucker and decides, you know what? You don't work with me. I'm gonna go with this hotter piece of ass instead. Yo, this is great. I like doing it with you instead. And then she takes him for a ride, and then he gets bent out of shape like that.
It also doesn't help that, I'm not sure if the show is going to actually do anything with this, but it's kind of like subtly implied Ikuno might be gay.
What?
Maybe, we'll see.
Okay, that
Well,
one
shit!
I haven't seen, but if they go that route,
Huh.
okay, if they do something with that, I will be interested. Anyways, I had to go on that little outburst. Okay, as I think Leah Clark as Ikuno does a really good job. She's quiet and reserved, but she manages to come off as like she gets frustrated and a little like hurt when it comes to, but also being supportive alongside everybody else. Now Mitsuru, This kid looks like a posh shithead, to quote Little Karibo. This kid looks like a posh shithead with his hair slicked back and his tight boy shorts. Like, man, he's so, like, thinks he's so cool, but he looks like such a loser. And guess what? He is a posh shithead. I'll say this. I'm not as acquainted with Bryson Bogus, but he's got a lot of range and versatility on display for Mitsuru. More than likely, this character is compensating, but this performance is not. The freak out and bragging about his powers and showing his full ability when he's riding with Zero Two is pretty impressive. And the genuine shock and fear when he's like dealing with the recovery and trauma that is dealing with a predatory woman, which was really interesting. I think Bryson Bogus, for his first Funimation role, this is a pretty interesting one, and I think he does a great job. I just think this character's like posh little shithead.
You're not wrong.
Okay, Steph?
You're not wrong. I'm gonna start with Ikuno too. Leah, for most of the show, because from what I've seen so far, many of these characters, all of these characters actually, they kind of play to different kinds of tropes, and also how they're paired off plays to different kinds of tropes too, which is really interesting to me. In the case of Ikuno, she is very quiet, she's kind of in the background, she's much more reserved, and Leah plays that rather well. She may be quiet, but she's very aware of her weaknesses, because it's fully stated that Ikuno has always had a hard time with the docking and the connecting process in piloting the FranXX, that she's always kind of fluctuated very frequently. Hence when Mitsuru decides, fuck all y'all, I'm gonna ride with this bitch instead. But it seems like not only vulnerability and weaknesses in Ikuno, but there may be there seems to be an obvious lack of confidence in there, which, if it is true that she's actually into girls, it now makes sense when you say that, but we'll find out. As for Mitsuru, before I talk about the character itself, Bryson, you madman. Holy crap. Because he tweeted several weeks ago, like, his ridiculous schedule that he had for, like, a period of time. Because he's still in school. Bryson's still in school. He was working on this show. He's working on a show for Sentai. He works at a box office on his campus. It's... Holy mother of God, child! Like, I didn't even do that much in college. Like, props to you, sir, for making this work. Oh my god. But, in terms of Mitsuru, is it funny that I was slightly reminded of Aino Kusabi on this one?
Oh my god.
I'm sorry, because Kyrie is a little shit! He fucking is! Mitsuru's a little shit, though even more of a stuck-up, snobby little shit compared to his character in Aino Kusabi. But, it's also, like, it's a lot of fun for this, because, clearly Mitsuru, aside from his inferiority complex, he's very jealous of those double digits, specifically Hiro. Specifically Hiro, because he's always been deemed as the prodigy among the kids. But,
if I may, I make this comparison just because I'm reminded of the fact that the character designs are the same character designer as Anohana. This is Mitsuru is this show's Yukiyatsu.
He is. Oh boy, he is. But as this stuck-up, snobby little shit, who, as of now, has kind of been taught his place by 02, thank you very much. He's kind of broken, in a sense, too, right now. Because, in episode 5, because I was watching it, thank God I got to watch it, because I was worried I wouldn't get to. He's hiding in the garden, like, taking medication, and he's, like flinching and, like, twitching, and, like, oh my god, he's about to have like a mental breakdown or something. It's clearly what happened with him and 02. He's broken now because of it. Like, he can't handle it. So I'm very curious to know what's going to happen to Mitsuru because of that now. But Bryson as a snarky, snobby little shit, love it. I'm sold.
Okay, so I gotta say that both these casting choices are pretty interesting. Personally, I've only ever really heard Leah Clark as, like, cutesy characters like Mavis, so for me, hearing her play the Quiet Girl was, like, a pretty nice twist, and I really like what I've heard of it so far. Bryson being in this show is an even bigger shocker to me because, as we already established, this is his first funny role. And Mitsuru is an interesting character to start off with. Since at first he seemed like he'd kind of be the quiet type too, but then, as we saw, he's pretty envious of Hiro's talent, and when he shows his true colors when piloting with 02, it's pretty clear that he's got a lot of pride. So Bryson does a great job of handling both the quiet side of the character and the more prideful nature underneath. Though I guess I'll be honest in saying I want him to sound maybe just like a little bit cockier during his big scene with 02, like, not full-on punchable, but maybe just like a little bit swarmier. But other than that, I was pretty happy with this, and both performances seemed pretty spot on.
I think my favorite thing I saw, I can't find it anymore, was somebody found the image of him, like, beaten and bloody in the cockpit, and somebody put, like, a headline over that image where it's like, 8 crazy sex moves to blow his mind and his penis.
God damn it!
Kind of what happens.
Yeah, it's pretty fitting.
Oh god,
yeah.
Unfortunately it is.
Yeah, so I guess now is a good time to move on to our next one.
The cinnamon rolls! The cinnamon rolls!
We need to change tempo from aggressive to you didn't do good, so I moved to the other one, to something a little more supportive and willing to tell them you're doing okay when it comes to intimacy.
Okay, so our next pair is the Genesisa team, and these are code 556 Kokoro and code 214 Futoshi. Kokoro is a meek and kind girl, whereas Futoshi just kind of eats a lot. Like, that was literally the character description. Take it, Japan.
You know he eats food.
Damn it, Japan! Why? Why you do this? But let's face it, these two are basically the cinnamon roll characters of the show.
Okay, so predictions.
Alright, predictions. Let me pull up my thing. Okay, for Futoshi, I had gruffer voices, but who have also done cinnamon rolls in the past. Jared Green and Chris Guerrero. As regards for Kokoro, she has a very distinct sounding voice in Japanese, the lovely Saori Hayami, and I figured something a little more foreign and soft sounding. So I was going for Natalie Hoover and Michaela Krantz.
Okay, Hardy?
Yes. One thing I always notice about Futoshi is he's always putting stuff like bread in his mouth.
Please don't tell me.
I think I know where he's
So
going.
I cast Austin Tyndall as Futoshi.
Oh, god damn it.
And for Kokoro, I kind of went into the old standard archetypes and for her character, and I cast Tia Ballard.
Okay.
Okay, what about you, Steph?
Damn it, Hardy. Are we ever gonna get over the bread and mouth joke?
No.
Damn it. Oh, Jesus. So, I actually went the similar vein with Futoshi as Andrew did, with slightly gruffer sounding, but still can play cinnamon rolls. I also had Jared Green as one, but I also have Alejandro Saab as the other one. As for Kokoro, I went with cute in his... Kokoro's a sweet cinnamon roll, too good and pure for this world, let's fucking face it. So I went with voices that were also cinnamon rolls, too good and pure for this world. So I had Bryn April as one, and I actually had Jeannie Torado as the other.
Okay. Alright, as for me, Okay, my Kokoro pick for Texas was Alexis Tipton.
Okay.
For Bang Zoom, it was Erica Harlacher. And for Futoshi, I said if Texas, it would be Chris Patton. And for Bang Zoom, I said Kaiji Tang because I was so coming down with Ohana.
Ooh, Keiji Tang would have been good, yeah.
That would have been a good choice.
Okay, so anyway, here for Kokoro, we have Gini Torano.
Whoop, whoop.
And for Futoshi, we have Blake Shepard.
Surprise, motherfucker! Another Houston actor!
Okay, so some of Gini Torano's roles include Zira in Fairy Tail Zero, Koyuki in Fuka, and Yume in Grimgar. Blake Shepard is more of a Sentai regular, but some of his other work includes Akito in Air Gear, Iki in Amnesia, and Otanashi in Angel Beats.
You had to bring up Iki from Amnesia, really?
It was on the docket.
Oh, god damn.
I blame GD.
Alright.
Good person to blame, because she is the one who subjected us to that. Well, technically I volunteered, so I can't say that.
I think this is probably the quickest I'm going to actually go, because these characters are precious, but they are currently the most just there of the group. Kokoro is pretty and sweet, and she sounds sweet and cute and precious, and I think Jeannie's really good at her. She's just sort of there right now. Maybe she'll have more later. Maybe it'll be something terrible. I don't know. The show could go.
Well, I mean,
way.
considering she is the one who found Mitsuru downing some pills.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We forgot to mention Mitsuru's kind of dropping some pills, so something will be up with that. Wondering if anything's going on with there. As for Futoshi, Precious Cinnamon Roll, he sounds pretty good. I kind of hope this character becomes more than the fat guy. I really do. That being said, I actually really like the character dynamic between these two. I like that they're like the more like, they're kind of not great at doing this yet, but they're much more like supportive and sweet of each other. And she feeds him food. I like how the little shithead Zorbe gets jealous of that. I'd be jealous of that too. That was cute. That being said, I hope these characters have more. And regards to the fact that Blake Shepard is Futoshi, I'm really glad I could see a little more cross-pollination between Funimation and Sentai talent pools.
This is never gonna end. Shut up.
You know, piston, stamen, flower sex.
Yes, okay, well,
I fucking quit. I fucking quit. I'm done. I'm sorry, I can't do it.
Okay, while these two are recovering.
Yeah. Yeah, there's really not much to say. I mean, they are sort of just background characters as of now, but when they do have lines, they are very cute and sweet and adorable. And yeah, I agree. I hope that they get to do more as the series goes on. I'm hoping that he has his moment, oh badass, and where, you know, the fat guy actually gets to do something cool.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Unrelated, I also really like their mech design in particular. Hopefully they do more.
It's really interesting.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So yeah, like you guys were saying, these two have kind of been in the background so far, so I don't have too much to say. Gini Torano is very good at making Kokoro sound cute, and like the latest episode of Japanese did kind of imply she'll be given something to do, so I guess I'm looking forward to that.
Good.
And Blake Shepard is good at making Futoshi sound like a cinnamon roll who's bound to have something horrible happen to him because, duh. So I guess I'll have more to say when these two actually have something to do, but until then, they're perfectly fine.
That me.
Okay.
Me.
Yep.
Woohoo! I think the theme for this pair is cinnamon roll, too good and pure for this world. Which is exactly what these two characters are. Cinnamon rolls, too good and pure for this world, and they voice them as too good and pure for this world. Blake Shepard is probably the interesting one between the two, because not only has he been popping up a little bit more in some Funimation stuff recently, it's in places we wouldn't expect. Because we did record this earlier this week. Hardy, the fact that Blake Shepard plays a goddamn nerd in Takagi-san.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's popping up in some very interesting places, and Futoshi is one of them, because I don't ever recall, as far as my knowledge goes, Blake Shepard ever voicing a chubbier character before.
Wasn't he in Food Wars, though?
That was Clint Bickham.
Oh, right. Sorry. I got it confused.
No, believe me, I almost did a double take for a second. I'm like, wait. No, Blake Shepard's the lead in Food Wars. He's Soma.
Okay.
But yeah, it's very interesting where Blake has been popping up recently in these Funimation dubs. And I really enjoy it. He doesn't play. It's similar. It's funny with Gene Torado being a part of this pair. He doesn't make it sound like the stereotypical fat guy.
I do appreciate that, yes.
I appreciate that a lot. Because I know us ladies, we had that conversation when we were talking about Genie as Sudari Numa and Kiss Him Not Me a couple of years back now. And in this case, Blake, he doesn't sound like the stereotypical fat guy who could easily be like the jolly, like, ooh, that kind of thing. Not sounding like a whale. And I really appreciate that choice so much. It's really good because, again, not all fat or chubby people sound like whales.
Mm-hmm.
No. And thank you for not going that route, because I would probably have to punch someone because of that. So I appreciate that a lot with Blake. And Jeannie is too good and pure for this world. She's so precious, and I will be very mad if something bad happens to her. Because I don't know if you guys saw it. Remember, there was a tweet that she retweeted, and she started freaking out.
Oh, because she's got the Mom of Death braid.
Yeah! There was an image that someone had put together with a bunch of other anime characters who have, like, the side pony that end up dead. So that's, like, Trisha Elric, Aaron's mom from Attack on Titan, Jintan's mom from Anohana, I think, the mom ghoul from Tokyo Ghoul, Hinami's mom, that's what I'm thinking of. It's, and she's freaking out like, no, my precious Kokoro. I'm like, if you kill her off, I'm gonna go nuts.
Look, there's
My Kokoro done brokero.
I was waiting for somebody to finally do that. Thank you, Hardy. Thank you.
Son of a bitch.
My pleasure.
Look, there's like
No,
a 50-50
Okay.
toss-up of these kids get their happy ending or these kids suffer horribly. Take your bets. Tell us in the comments.
God damn it. No, but yeah, bottom line is Jeannie's a precious cinnamon roll and Blake is a goddamn lovable teddy bear. And right now there's not much to them, but I think there's gonna be more. I really hope there is. Just don't kill off Jeannie, please. That's all I ask.
Also, make Futoshi
Really?
be a badass and don't be just fat.
They're either going to have their moment of awesome or they're going to die horribly. Possibly both.
If they get their
Go out
moment
in
of
a blaze
awesome
of-
before dying horribly, like,
About to say, if they go out in a blaze of glory, then that's fine.
I will
but
be
still,
satisfied with that alternative, yes.
But I just don't go with the stereotype. Don't kill the girl with the side pony, please. Let's break the trend.
At least take
Stop it,
Mitsuru
Japan.
with you.
Son of a bitch.
Alright, so I guess we're good to move on to the next group.
Oh boy, this one's fun.
Speaking of little
Let's,
shits.
Okay, so next up we have the Argento pair. Piloting the Argento, we have code 390 Miku, and because this show has no subtlety whatsoever.
No.
Jet, read it to us.
Okay, we have code 660.
666. The number of the beast. Hyde.
Oh, God damn it.
Sorry. Okay, so these two are like the kitty kids of the group, and Zorome in particular is the one with the biggest ego. So predictions for these two.
Side note, can I just say, it would have been hilarious if Zorome was actually 6'9".
Man,
That would have been great.
Nice.
that would have been his username.
Zing!
Predictions.
I'm just surprised, honestly, we don't have one pairing that their codes are 069 and 420.
God, I'm waiting for that. I've no trigger, and this is we've got an hour into this, and we haven't mentioned that this is a Trigger A1 Pictures co-production, which is a pretty interesting feat in and of itself. And we'll get more to that for final thoughts. As for my predictions for Zorome and Miku, this is somebody that was going to be high-pitched and girly girl. So I had Sarah Wiedenheft or Bryn April. And Zorome is a young boy who still sounds a little like his balls hasn't dropped yet. But I was going for something a little more tomboyish, like feminine girl Seiyu. So I went with Morgan Berry and Ryan Reynolds. Not that Ryan Reynolds.
The other Ryan
Reynolds. We have to make this distinction.
Yeah.
Gotta make it not Deadpool.
I'm with you, Andrew. I also had Morgan Berry and Sarah Wiedenheft as my picks.
Cool.
Okay, I also had Sarah Wiedenheft for one of my Miku picks. Let's say, my Bang Zoom pick, because it's a snarky girl with pigtails, I said Sarah Ann Williams, because, of course. Okay, and then for Zorome, in the event of Bang Zoom, I said Griffin Burns, and in the event of Texas, because it's a cocky little boy, who else but Greg Ayers.
Okay.
Alright, I guess the theme of the night is Sarah Wiedenheft, because I also had Sarah Wiedenheft as Miku. Zorome, I went weird with mine compared to some others. I didn't think it was gonna be the female voicing male situation. I actually just went with voice actors who could play snarky little jagoffs, because Zorome is a fucking snarky little shit. Like we were saying, there's two snarky shits. He's the other one. He's just more of the loudmouth. So I went with voice actors who could be loudmouth, snarky little shits, and I went with Aaron Dismuke and Alejandro Saab for this.
Okay.
Okay, so actually playing these characters. Okay, for Miku, we have Bryn April, and for Zorome, it is in fact Ryan Reynolds. Okay, so Bryn April is a pretty familiar name in Funimation dubs. And you may have heard her as Ritsu in Assassination Classroom, Kaede in The Boy and the Beast, and my personal favorite, Hiyori in Origami. As for Ryan Reynolds, you may have heard her as Chihori in Data Live, Cleo in Alice in Zoroku, and Lolo in Chain Chronicle.
I'm gonna go last for this pair, and you'll see why.
Okay, that's fair.
Alrighty.
Yes.
Take it away.
They are snotty little brats, and I kind of hate them.
Yeah, I mean, that sums them up.
Yeah, but I mean, that having been said, the two actresses here basically played them exactly how they needed to be played. Because we have heard Bryn April play. She is the sort of snot-nosed little floozy type. Not saying anything bad about Bryn, to be perfectly honest, but yeah, she does that really well. And we already know that Ryan Reynolds has done the cocky little punk in other shows as well. So yeah, they both did really well, and they made me really. They did a good job of making me hate these characters, basically. Which, that's a high compliment, actually.
Fair.
I don't have as much bad to say about these two. I'm not as familiar with Ryan Reynolds as the rest of you guys are, but I really like her so far. For me, she does a really good job of making Zorome sound really obnoxious without being, super unlikable, because, the thing about Zorome to me is, yes, he's, really cocky and arrogant, but he's, cocky and arrogant in a way where it's more like he's a little kid than, he's just, a generally awful person.
Yeah.
So, okay, so that's why that kind of works for me. And, Bryn April, of course, I'm a little more familiar with, and she's generally been great at playing peppy girls with attitude, and that seems to be Miku so far, so she sounds really good here. But the thing I really like about these two performances is how the two sound when they're playing off of each other. because I really kind of like their dynamic where, like, yeah, they're both kind of childish, but at the same time, you can kind of tell, like, they fight a lot, but they also, like, really care about each other when the chips are down, and I thought that was pretty nice.
Alright.
Neat. So Miku is very energetic, very girly. If anybody were to have the most energy out of the entire cast, it's Miku and Zorome. Like, bottom line, hands down. Because that's the trope we're going for. The childish, naive little kids, essentially. Bryn plays that little ball of energy named Miku very, very well. I don't hate it as much as I hate Zorome as a character, but we'll get to that in a sec. But Bryn is really good at playing the little balls of energy, those little spunky characters, and it's no surprise here that she's a lot of fun. Ryan Reynolds. Ryan is a little shit. A little snarky shit. And I absolutely love it. Because if we're making the comparison between Zorome and Mitsuru, Mitsuru, like we were saying before, he is the stuck-up snob who's also a little shit. Zorome is the loudmouth, snarky little shit. And Ryan just seems to be having a lot of fun with it. Because Zorome also is the male equivalent to the Energizer Bunny. He just keeps going and going and going.
Honestly, he seems to blow his load pretty quickly, actually, when you think about it.
You're not wrong. But he talks big talk. He has a lot more bark compared to his bite, I think. And Ryan does very well with this character. I think it's one of the few times where I get to see Ryan as a snarky little boy. And I just love every second of it. But yeah, these two are the biggest loudmouths of the cast. So, I love it.
Alright, before I go into their performances, this pair in particular, as far as my relationship counseling as I've been doing for the night, these two are like a elementary, middle school relationship where they're kind of bratty, still immature. They kind of seem like they don't get along very well, but they actually do very much care for each other's well-beings, and they do want each other to, like, be safe and sound. That's why I actually really like how he was concerned about her in episode 3. I thought that was really nice and sweet. Like, you know what? I actually like this pair together better than some of the other ones. First things first, Bryn as Miku. She's adorable, and I love the way Bryn makes this character come to life, particularly due to their chaotic, teasing, bratty attitude and nature, but also their very, like, kind of cute poutiness, and also the very, like, fun, weird noises when it comes to doing mech stuff, which I thought he does a great job at bringing this character to life. She's great. Now let's talk about Zorome. I had to sit on what this character is, and I think I know exactly what Zorome's character is. Let me enlighten you. If I had to describe this character to you, I'd say that Zorome is the 12-year-old Xbox Live kid bragging about how he fucked my mom last night and is talking about how he gets all of the sex and how he has the 2-foot-long dick, but in reality, he is this awkward, fidgety, short little toddler boy who's terrible at romance and kisses like a golden retriever.
Wow, that is a long description, but it is probably the most accurate description I've heard about this character. Holy crap.
I think that's why I like this character, because it's like, Mitsuru seems vindictive, like, he'll toss people aside, he's trying to prove he's the best, and he'll use other people to prove he's the best. Zorome is just an angry little shit trying to prove that he's a big man and that he is the best at the sex and the thing. Oh, I'm sorry. He's the best at giant robots. But no, he's great. Ryan, I knew would be really good from hearing her as Etoile in Arslan. And I think this proves that she was a really great choice. Like, literally, this character's bragging about how they're the first to finish. It's like, no, nobody who actually does that is like, yeah, I came first. It's like, that's not something to be proud of, kid.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting you bring that up because, like, watching the latest episode of the dub, like, it kind of became a little bit more clear to me, like, out of all the kids, he's the one who seems like the most obsessed with wanting to become an adult.
Yeah, it's very interesting. It's very interesting because
the younger you are, the sooner you want to grow up, and vice versa.
Here's a couple interesting parts about it though. Is one, the scene where the kids are watching the whole kissing of the plantations. He's like, I don't remember how this works, and they're all like, "Are you fucking serious?" But probably more important is their interactions with the squad from the other plantation, and he's asking these kids, has anyone in your squad ever become an adult? That's interesting to me because we don't know what the context is of becoming an adult, but let's face it, it's probably obvious. We don't know that, and the fact that he just seems so starry-eyed about it and has this childlike innocence is very interesting to me, actually.
But yeah, no, I think Ryan Reynolds really does a great job of getting all these angry emotions and, like, bratty attitudes for this character, but also sounding really sincere and actually worried for his partner's well-being. Like, like I said, they are basically a bunch of, like, bratty kids where it seems like they wouldn't get along, but I'd say they probably have one of the better pairings or dynamics to me, even if they do kind of drive each other crazy. I like them together.
Okay, and on that note, it's time to head a little bit closer to the home stretch with our next pair.
This is gonna be an interesting discussion.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. So our next pair is the Delphinium team. Code 056 Goro and code 15 Ichigo. Ichigo is the leader of the team and has had a close relationship with Hiro since childhood, while Goro is her partner and Hiro's best friend. So, predictions for these
Man,
two.
the second you look at Ichigo, you know she has zero fucking chance.
Oh, yeah.
You're not wrong.
Poor sweetie, she had no chance. As for predictions, for Goro, I was thinking Ian Sinclair or Rico Fajardo. In regards to Ichigo, I was thinking this was the only one I had three because all three seemed likely in my mind. Brittany Karbowski, Jade Saxton, and Lucy Christian.
It's interesting you bring up Ian Sinclair because that is also who I predicted for Goro.
Goro or Garo?
Goro.
For some reason, I'm hearing Garo, and I'm about to scream Garo at the top of my lungs.
Okay,
Garo!
Okay, let's see.
He'd be so much cooler if he was Garo.
Okay, for some reason I thought Goro was going to have, like, a really deep voice, so my Bangdu prediction was FranXX.
Okay.
Let's see, and then for Ichigo, for Bangzoom, I said Erica Lindbeck, and for Texas, I said Britta Palencia, because she hasn't been in a simulcast in a while.
And because blue hair.
Yeah.
Blue hair characters. I had two for each. Probably completely off the wall compared to everybody else so far. For Ichigo, I actually went with Megan Shipman and Jeannie Torado. I thought they could play the leader role, the leader who's also vulnerable, rather well. Because let's fucking face it, she has a crush on Hiro, but it ain't happening, folks. It's not happening. If anime taught us anything, not happening. Goro is really interesting because this is where I actually put Damon Mills, but I also put Brandon McGinnis as well.
Yeah, I can see both.
I kept it real easy for Goro. I chose Josh Greeley. And for Ichigo, I picked Alex Moore using her Mitsuba voice.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay, interesting. Alright, so let's see. So who we actually have here for Goro. See, that
Got him.
Got him.
Okay. Okay, so for Goro, we have Austin Tyndall, and for Ichigo, we have Brittany Lana. Austin Tyndall's anime resume is pretty long, but some of his work includes Karma and Assassination Classroom, Kaneki and Tokyo Ghoul, and Angelo in 91 Days. Brittany Lana's isn't quite as long, but you may have also heard her as Leviathan in Seven Mortal Sins, Rita in Rio Rainbow Gate, and Nene in My Girlfriend is a Gal. So I kind of want to go first with this one, since there's a point I kind of want to bring up.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, so going into Austin Tyndall real quick, he wasn't the first person who I had in mind for Goro, obviously, but he seems to be a good fit so far. I'm used to Austin Tyndall's roles being a little bit more theatrical or stoic, so seeing him play a more laid-back character is kind of nice, and he does the whole supportive friend thing really well. It's a little bit more subtle than I'm used to for him, but it's really nice. Of course, Brittany Lana is the one we're really here to talk about, because Ichigo's character is very interesting. Usually the childhood friend is more of a supportive role, so having her be the one in charge here is, it definitely helps to add a lot more to her dynamic with Hiro, since she kind of has to struggle with doing what's best for the team versus her own personal feelings. Mm-hmm. And then adding into that, it kind of seems like the kids don't exactly understand the concept of love, so I'm not even sure if she actually recognizes what her exact feelings towards him are, and I kind of hope the show does something interesting with that. But for now, though, Brittany Lana has done a great job of playing both the stern leader and the jealous childhood friend without skipping a beat. And I can't really think of anything bad to say about either performance, so just keep on doing what you're doing, you two. Good job.
Neat.
Alright, Hyde, you want to go first?
Alright. Yeah, I think both of them do it really well. Both of these characters in general, they almost go through a lot of emotional turmoil, because you can tell all the various love triangles being formed, and Ichigo is fawning over Hiro, and it's unrequited. Meanwhile, Goro is her actual partner, and yet she feels very little towards him, and that, therefore, it affects his emotions. And I think both actors are really able to bring that out really well, and especially in the most recent dubbed episode, where both of them had their sort of emotional breaking points over different things. And yeah, I think I have nothing bad to say about it. I think it's really good. I am interested in hearing more of Brittany Lana's range, because I don't think she's played a character similar to Ichigo that I know of in recent memory, and most of her other characters just are all over the gamut. So,
all right,
so yeah.
All right, well said.
Do you want to make the joke, Andrew?
Okay, so before I go into Goro, I had a running joke, long-time running joke on Dub Talk, is that we make a different nickname for what kind of karma Austin Tyndall plays. So I have named Goro here Prep School Karma. That is what I named him.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
So, Hardy,
yes?
would you like to tell the audience what you called him?
Oh, God, no. What did you do?
Ladies and gentlemen, we have cuckold karma now.
And here I was just going to say glasses.
Get the fuck out. You're fired. Get out.
Oh, God.
I will not apologize for art.
You should never apologize, and I love you for that. Both are applicable to this character, but I'll go into why. Goro is a very good boy. Honestly, he is probably one of the more supportive characters that likes everybody. He does so much to look out for Ichigo and Hiro, even though they're besties, and or he may have feelings towards Ichigo as well, but that's a whole thing that's implied, yada yada yada. I really think that Austin Tyndall does a very good job with this character. He emotes a lot more when he's kind of freaking out at his friend sort of dying, at the fact that, wow, my best friend may or may not have just gotten an STD. So that's a thing that he's coming to terms with, and he's trying to pretend that it's okay.
You went there.
Let's be honest, the show kind of went there already. No, but I think Tyndall does a really good job at making Goro sound this very authoritative, caring, big brother, best friend figure. And the dynamic he has going on with Ichigo is very much a bestie, friend with benefits kind of relationship, is how I see it. They are each other's shoulders to cry on, though the dynamic of that may be tested at how much their feelings sort of come to terms and boil and distract. Now, the real thing I want to talk about is Brittany Lauda as Ichigo. First things first, she's super cute when she's playing with the little kitty cat. So cute, so cute. I will say, though, this is a much more different performance than I was expecting, because I listened to it in Japanese. I think the Japanese is a much more quiet presentation of this character. While I think Brittany is also quiet, she plays up in her tone of voice much more of, like, the jealousy or the, like, frustration in her voice more audibly. It still works very well for what this character is supposed to be, and this is exactly kind of what I associate with Ichigo now. Like, her design's really interesting, and I really do feel bad for this character. I just hope the entire show isn't just going to be her being jealous. Like, I thought, that's what I liked about episode 2, is I kind of like, it seemed like we got that out of the way. The idea that they literally kiss each other, and they say, I feel nothing. It's like, I feel nothing when I'm with you. It's such a, ooh, powerful moment, and God! The delivery of when she's crying and huffing, and she just says, you were awful. I'm like, oh, I really liked her delivery when she said you were awful. It just really stuck out with me. It's like, it is all at once powerful, jealous, frustrated, like frustrated in terms of emotional and sexual attraction, and the action screams Brittany does. I was not sure, I'm not very familiar with Brittany. I have not watched a lot of Meteor Blaster stuff. This gives me a lot of hope for hearing her in future stuff, because I'm very surprised and impressed with Brittany Lauda as Ichigo. You go, girl. Here's your silver medal. I'm sorry. You don't have a chance. You don't have a chance.
Guess that leaves me. So, I feel like the best way for me to talk about Austin and Brittany's performances is actually as a pair, because Ichigo and Goro, and then Hiro and 02, they're probably the most interesting pairs out of the entire cast that I've seen so far. In the case of Ichigo and Goro, they're a fun pair, because where Brittany shines as this new leader, because she's technically this new leader for this squad of kids, she's a new leader with internal conflicts about her position, while Austin, on the other hand, here is Goro. He's more of a calming, grounded figure. So these are two roles that, for both Brittany and Austin, that are different to see, because it's very rare for me, in Austin's case, for him to see a much more calming and grounding presence, or grounded character. And he's basically that person for Ichigo. And Brittany Lauda, I haven't seen her that much as an actress in voiceover roles. So this is not only a surprise, but I really like it. Because because Ichigo is a very complex character in and of herself, because she's a new leader for this team, so she's very inexperienced. She has a crush on her childhood friend. She's very jealous, and she just doesn't know what to do with her feelings, or what to do, or how her relationship with Hiro should be, or how her relationship is affecting Goro, because she doesn't realize that. And clearly Goro has some amount of feelings for Ichigo, because in episode 5, when he's trying to comfort and talk to her and tell her everything's okay, he just kind of holds back, and he's like, wait, what is this feeling I'm feeling right now? I don't understand. And that kind of their relationship is very interesting, because it brings home a lot of the things that these kids don't know about quite yet. That these little kids don't know about relationships and love and sexuality in some cases here. Like, Ichigo and Goro is a prime example of this. And I just love the dynamic and the performances of both Brittany and Austin, and I am also in agreement that I would love to see Brittany in more things, because I think the other thing I've heard her in is Alice and Zeroku, but that is also almost a year ago now, and I can't freaking remember. So, I would love to hear her in more things, and I love to hear more of her range and her versatility as an actress, honestly. But both of these characters, they are very, very interesting to me, and I loved so far how Brittany and Austin have been playing them.
Alright.
Anybody hungry?
And, alright. Okay, so I guess that lead-in means it's time to get to our final pair of the evening.
Oh,
and
boy.
The main characters of this
I
show.
found you, my darling.
Now you make it creepy. You're making it sound creepy.
Alright, okay, so let's get to it. We have the pilot of the Selexia. Okay, so we have Shinji Ikari.
Let's fucking face it.
And we brought it back.
Okay,
We had to.
I'm not done yet. Okay, so we have... Okay, and then we have Asuka Langley. I mean Code 002. Who just,
Son of a bitch.
goes by 02.
I forgot we were doing that bit. Okay.
Oh, Lord.
Okay, so Hiro is a parasite who was considered a prodigy, but lost his ability to pilot a FranXX and became a dropout.
Basically, he couldn't get it up.
Basically.
Yeah, basically.
Basically.
While 02 is a mysterious girl with red horns who's known for being a dangerous
She's a nymphomaniac. She's a nymphomaniac.
pilot, and she takes a very strong interest in Hiro and starts referring to him as her darling because this show has no subtlety whatsoever.
Well,
Yeah.
She really likes her honey.
That is also true.
Oh, God. Ah, fuck. I didn't even realize that. Shit. Oh, God.
Zing!
Okay, so predictions.
Okay, credit where it's due. That one was subtle enough I didn't catch it.
Haha! Oh,
That
God.
hot pollinating action.
Damn it!
Okay, let's get to predictions. Fuck, we're gonna be here all night.
Actually, we're doing pretty okay on time.
Okay.
Pick someone, Jet!
Okay, I guess I'll go first. So, let's see. In the event of Bang Zoom for 02, I said Allegra Clark. And in the event of Texas, I said Joe Harris because I kind of want to see her, like, you know, maybe try something seductive for a change. I thought that would be pretty interesting. Okay, for Texas, for Hero, I said Aaron Dismuke because why not? And for Bang Zoom, for Hero, I, of course, said Lucian Dodge because I will die on that hill. Okay,
That's a good hill. Honestly, that's a good hill to die on.
You will die for that!
Okay.
You will die for Lucian Dodge to be a lead role, damn it.
Alright. I have 2 for Hero and only 1 for 02 because I was really strong on this one for a particular reason. For Hero,
Okay.
Justin Briner and Damon Mills both look like they would fit into this part very well. Now as for 02, like I had like 2 other options for a lot of these other ones. There was only one person I wanted to play 02 for a very particular reason.
Okay.
Genie Torado. And the very specific reason,
I know
Android
where this is going.
21.
Yep.
Oh,
I've been
okay.
going through fighters like for a while now, and goddamn, I've seen a new side to Genie Torado in regards to what she can pull off, do that kind of like psychosexual, crazy, monstrous appetite kind of character, but also being sweet and seductive and kind of very interesting and two-faced. That's exactly what I get out of 02. I really wanted to hear Android 21 in an anime, especially an anime not animated by Toei Animation.
I'll go last.
Steph?
Okay, Steph?
Okay. I had 2 for Hero, and I was dead set on 1 for 02. Or I couldn't think of anyone else aside one person for 02. for 02, the person I had in mind for this, when I looked at the character and I was watching the Japanese, because the big thing we know about this character also is that she has Klaxosaur blood in her. So obviously she's this alien, this monster kind of thing, or person, I should say. And my initial thought when watching the Japanese, I'm like, okay, who is there a voice actress who can play otherworldly kind of characters? And it's weird. Well, maybe not actually, I don't know. The first person that came to mind for me, and the person who ended up being my prediction here, was Tia Ballard.
Really?
Because, I mean, I was also catching up on Garo Vanishing Line, which reminded me of her performance in the original Garo the Animation as one of the watchdogs. And then I also was thinking at the time, shoot, I have to start Shiki soon for Dub Talk Classics. Oh wait, Tia Ballard plays Megumi, and Megumi's this very out-of-this-world vampire. Let me put Tia Ballard here. Reasoning and logic, this is how my brain works. With Hero for my 2 picks, I actually want to talk about my second choice first. I actually had Riko Fajardo. Because a lot of it was, like, voices trying to match character types in the character design here. And Riko Fajardo was like, okay, if we have to default to someone, I'm fine with Riko. The person, though, my first choice here, though, it was the first thing that popped in my head when I was watching the show and looking at this character. Based on the character design, based on the voice and the kind of personality that Hero has, I picked Matt Shipman.
Yeah, okay.
So I was like, oh, Matt Shipman, this is actually a good fit, and plus I also want to see him in more lead roles. Throw him in! Go!
Alright.
Okay.
Hardy.
So, Hardy.
My turn. Okay. I also had 2 for Hero and 1 for 02. Mainly my first one was who I expected it to be, but I really did not want it to be because he does this sort of role all the time.
Okay.
And that is Mika Solasad. Looking at the character's face, listening to the character's voice, I could not unhear Mika Solasad.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's who I expected them to cast. But I said, you know what? I'm pretty sure this is going to be a Clifford Chapin dub, because I had a good idea that he was going to direct it before the announcements came out. And so I'm like, you know what? He's good buds with Matt Shipman as well. Let's put him here and see what happens. And so those were my 2 predictions for Hero. 02 is a little bit more complicated because, as you no doubt know, if you've looked through my predictions so far, they are not adventurous. And usually I like to be a bit more adventurous and cast people who wouldn't normally play these types of archetypes. And this time, I literally just made my predictions after 1 episode. I was in a hurry, so I'm like, yeah, this and this person here. All pretty normal stuff. 02, I did go out of my way to be bit out there. And so I was a bit adventurous.
Mm-hmm.
And I chose an actress who's very, very new, who's only been in a few roles, and
Okay.
we've only heard one type of voice come from this actress.
Ooh.
And I wanted to hear more range.
Okay.
See what she could do. See if she could pull it off. And so that's why for 02 I predicted Danny Chambers.
Interesting.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Wow,
Because
okay.
So far, we've heard her as Chise, we've heard her as one other character in the Morose Mononoke, and they're basically exactly the same type of voice. I wanted to see more of Danny's range.
Interesting.
And see if she could play the more flirty, seductive type. And yeah, that's why I chose her here.
All right.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. Alright, so as for who's actually playing these characters, for Hero, we have Matt Shipman, and for 02, we have Tia Ballard.
I don't know how I got these 2 leads. What is wrong with me? I don't know how I did it.
Okay, you channeled it. You channeled your inner Clifford.
Here's the thing.
That's how.
Here's the thing, because when I was making my predictions, it was after I got spoiled that Cliff was the director. I was trying so hard to keep that out of my brain while making these damn predictions. How the fuck did I do this?
Sometimes it just happens and the stars aligned, and you're
I'm sorry, Cliff. I'm reading your mind. I'm sorry.
all right.
This is weird.
Okay, so Matt Chipman was originally a New York-based voice actor before moving to Texas, and some of his other work includes Shay in Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc V, Higekiri in Token Ranbu Hanamaru Season 2, and Izumi in My Wife is a Student Council President.
Which hasn't come out.
Did that even come out yet?
It has not
Did
come
it?
out yet.
I'm sorry, I was just going down the A&M list.
It's okay.
Okay, and of course, we have Kazuya Kujo and Gosek.
Kujo!
And,
Kujo!
Okay, and Tia Ballard, of course, is a pretty big Funimation regular. Some of her other work includes Aguri and Gamers, Garm and Gara the Animation,
Yep.
Elvira in He Said of the Last Witch, and of course, we can't go without mentioning Happy and Fairy Tail.
Side note, I have to bring this up because Say You Trash, aka Megan, will kill me for this. So here's another funny thing with Tia Ballard. So the Seiyu who voices 02 is the same Seiyu who voices Megumi and Shiki. And Tia Ballard also voices Megumi and Shiki.
Oh, they're the same. Oh.
Coincidence?
Ooh.
I have no idea, but shut up.
That is funny. That is very,
That's
very
good.
funny.
That's very good. I didn't even realize it until Megan brought it up later after I saw the casting. I'm like, oh shit.
I'm so glad you brought up Aguri because I just finished Gamers recently, and the fucking dynamic between Cliff in that show and Tia in that show is adorable and outrageous, and boy did she have some screams in that. They both had some
It
screams
was
in that.
great.
Fucking amazing dub. Anyway,
They also had some weird faces.
Okay,
the best faces.
Alright, I guess I'll go first here again.
Okay.
So, I was really impressed with Matt Chipman's performance in Gosek, so I was really happy that he managed to pick up another lead role. So I know I made the obvious Shinji jokes here, but Hiro isn't exactly a Shinji since depression isn't like his specific hang-up here, and his issues with self-worth are more tied to like this show's weird setup, more than him needing to live up to the expectations of people.
He wants to get in the robot. The stupid adults won't let him.
Okay, so anyway, Matt Chipman comes across all of Hero's eggs pretty well and does a good job of selling all that frustration without making the character sound insufferable. And so far, I'd say I actually think his performance edges out his Seiyu counterpart by a hair. But of course, the real setup for me here is Tia Ballard as 02. Ever since I heard her as Mako in Prison School, I've always kind of been excited to see her in roles where she gets to use her deeper vocal register. And she's really fantastic here. She's great at making 02 sound seductive, mysterious, and just a little bit frightening all at once. And she pretty much steals the show every second she's on screen. It's a good thing, too, because whatever this show intends to say largely depends on whatever angle they go for with 02. So far, she's just like a weird mix between Rei and Asuka from Eva.
Wrong.
And those two characters
I just thought about it.
represent...
She's not Rei or Asuka. She's Haruko Haruhara.
Okay,
Ooh.
shut up. Shut up. I'm the person who's actually seen Eva.
Yes, but she is a pink alien goddess that comes from out of nowhere and kisses the main guy, and then
You know, he's not wrong.
Okay, you're not wrong, but I'm also pretty sure that's not the show this is
fair.
No, it's probably not, honestly. She doesn't have a base. She doesn't have a base, does she?
It is Imaishi, so you know how he likes to reference his old
This
work.
is not Imaishi,
You're
actually.
right.
Imaichi did like one episode, I think.
Oh wait,
Oh,
Imaishi is on the show. He coordinates the mech action. That's his role.
Aha.
Yeah, he does the mech action. I think he directed like one episode.
But
maybe.
he
I don't
is
remember.
he
I
is
have to
not
check.
the man in charge of this particular series. This is
Yes, okay, yeah, he's not.
That would
Okay,
explain why it's more sane.
it's more low key.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so like I was saying, she's kind of like a weird mix between Rei and Asuka so far, and those two characters represent pretty different things in that show. I mean, the ideal thing for me would be if 02 actually does kind of turn out to be bad for Hero, which it seems like the show might do. But it also seems like there's just as much of a chance of the show deciding to just, play her straight, have there be no real consequences to her relationship with Hero outside of him needing to quote-unquote tame her, which would be really bad and stupid, and I really hope the show doesn't do that. But in the meantime, I like both of these performances a lot, and I'm looking forward to seeing these two get to start their stuff more.
Alright. I won't talk about what I think will happen with the show, maybe, until final thoughts, but I'll just go into the performances right now. Matt Shipman as Hero. It's a bit deeper tone than I think I would have expected for this character, but I think it works particularly well for Hero. The fact that he's more reserved by nature, I think actually works a lot better for Matt, because I was kind of iffy on him in Gozik, but I think him in Hero fits a lot better, or he's gotten a lot more experience with his acting, and I think this definitely shows he's really getting there. I think he does a good job sounding like he wants to do this stuff, as well as delivering the more low-key moments. Like I said, the moment he says, "I don't feel a thing," so soft, and like you hear a pin drop, it's like, oh shit. I really, really like that scene, and I think both actors in that were great. Like I said, it's very much going for the Anohana reference, the fact that he is the leading child of the group, but he fails to get it up one day, and then he is ostracized and the outcast again, and has to start from the ground up. But he's got some really good action shown in yells, and really kind of pours his heart out to wanting to be with the 02. And, man, you want to talk the real star of this fucking show? Let's talk 02. She is designed, created, and everything about her is a scene stealer. But that wouldn't really do anything for me if the actress wasn't doing a good job. Does Tia do a good job? You bet your fucking ass she's doing a good job. Hot damn! Deep voice Tia is sultry, dangerous, and sexy. I always knew she was really good as an actress, but very often I'm so used to squeaky Tia. That's why I think it's really interesting to put certain actors in the hands of certain people, because I really liked her in New Game. I almost said Gamers. I really liked the direction and character she was in New Game. That was like my underrated actor for a reason. I thought she was great in that, and I think Cliff really knows how to bring out these performances with Tia, and it really works for this character. She's really good, really sexy, really surprising. There's a sense of, and also this is a sense of sincerity, vulnerability, as well as this true danger, and I will cut a bitch, or I will eat your throat out if you fuck with me. But also just like when she's like, would you want to run away with me? It's, I thought you were different. It shows that vulnerability, that sensitivity. Well, it's so good. So good. I think she is easily the standout performance in the show. And before I hand this off to somebody else, Cannon Power Bottom 02. It's canon! It's canon.
I love how those are his words he wants to complete his thoughts on.
I almost thought she was going to be the one that was going to ride him too, by the way. I thought that was a very real possibility, but Canon Power Bottom, I can accept that.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. I'll keep my thoughts very brief and succinct, because Andrew sort of took the words right out of my mouth. Matt is a bit deeper than what I was expecting, but he plays the emotional aspect really well, and you can almost, as episode 5 is a real turning point, because you can tell that his spirits are actually a little bit higher, as opposed to the previous episodes where he was down in the dumps, he was depressed, he's not able to ride, he wants to do his part, but he can't, and then he's finally able to ride, and it's like everything's okay. You can tell the difference in his voice, as opposed to down in the dumps, Matt, and hey, I can actually do something now, Matt. So yeah, I think it was a good performance. But I mirror everything that Andrew just said about Tia Ballard. It was sultry, it was frightening at times, it was it was just really, really impressive. And so I'll just say I'm happy.
Damn you.
It's okay. We forgive you.
Are you happy? Are you happy?
Are
you happy, Spaceman Hardy? Are you happy you went there?
Yes, I am. Like I said, I will not apologize for art, but I also have to comment that it's kind of weird that the voice for Happy just gave me a chub, so.
Whoa!
I love you.
I
That is
don't even know where to go from there.
I love you, you beautiful Tennessee motherfucker.
Wow! I am so sorry that just happened.
I'm not.
I know you're not. Shut the fuck up.
Hardy, I owe you a steak.
Thank you. I will accept
I'll
it.
add some honey on top of it too.
I can live without the honey.
No, the honey's important. The honey's necessary for this transaction.
Okay.
Do you have any milk steak?
Stop it! I gotta get my thoughts out before I die over here. Shit. Whew. Okay. I'm actually gonna start with Tia for 0-2 this compared to the rest of y'all. Tia is all over the place in the best possible way. Like you guys were saying, she has a seductive tone to her. She has this vulnerability, I can tell that there's loneliness to her. Cause let's face it, she's deemed as a monster. And of course that's gonna affect her in some way. And she also comes off as very intimidating and kind of scary. So 0-2 in and of herself as a character is all over the place in terms of emotion and personality. Because she may come off as intimidating and not trusting and terrifying to everybody else. But then when she's with Hiro, completely different. Because she softens up. She becomes a bit more carefree and energetic. And she's very happy. Shit!
Fuck!
I walked into that
You did
myself.
that to yourself.
I did that to
You
myself.
did that to yourself.
I will admit that. I realized that after I said it. But you know what I mean, though. And Tia plays, as of right now, has been playing every aspect of 0-2's character flawlessly. And I enjoy it so much. Matt Shipman, I find it interesting that all of you guys are like, I've never really heard him play a slightly lower register character, because one of the first characters I thought of when I was thinking of Matt Shipman as Hiro was actually Juni Tyson, which I can fucking make comments about now because I've seen it. Because with Juni Tyson, his performance as the snake is actually in a bit of a lower register too, compared to his performance of Kujo in Gosek. And Hiro's a very interesting character because, like we were saying before, he's trying to regain his confidence after basically he's been seen as a prodigy. He can't perform. Make your jokes.
I'm already tapped out.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I'm shooting blanks here.
I hate you all so much. Why did you put me on this episode, Jet? God damn it.
You wanted
No, wait, no. You volunteered. You
No,
went straight to me.
I went straight to you, but I said that if you needed someone, I'm fine with it. But if you wanted to have someone else, go right ahead.
I love you, Steph.
And
Thanks
then you
for being
threw me
here.
in here. I just told you I was interested, though. But that's a conversation for another day. But anyway, Hiro, he's lacking confidence now, and he just wants to have his own wings in order to fly. That's apparently a running thing with his character. He wants to fucking fly. And Matt portrays that very, very well. If I'm talking about standout performances, it's these two.
Mm-hmm.
Like, bottom line, these are my two favorite performances in the show. Because not only separately, if you're looking at them, do they portray these characters really well, when you put them together, it takes the performances to a whole new level because of the character dynamic. So, again, I don't know how I managed to get this right. I'm still reeling from that. maybe I've just gotten so used to watching a lot of dubs that Cliff has directed, so I can predict what he's gonna do. I don't fucking know.
Steph, you don't need to brag like you're Zorame. Come on.
I'm not compensating for. I'm not compensating for something I don't have. Thanks. Leave me alone. It's not like I'm driving a big truck and I'm compensating for something, you know. Make your jokes. No, but these two are definitely my favorite performances of the entire show, of the entire dub. And we've talked about the dubbies a few times tonight, and this is strong words for me to say this. I have two early contenders for performance awards.
That's pretty fair. I think Tia's gonna be a contender.
To be fair, like we're now in our third month. There's a lot of people I'm already considering, and we haven't even gotten to spring yet. Fuck.
I'll say I haven't gotten too far.
Yeah.
I've already got best writer and director picked out.
I've got a best director option too, actually.
Anyways, we won't
wonder.
show our hand too much to you, fellow viewer.
That's till next year, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, like the performances on their own for Matt and Tia are fantastic, but they shine the most when they are playing off of each other. And there's not much else for me to say, because I'm done.
Oh my fucking
I'm
god.
done. This is fantastic.
Oh my fucking god, I just realized something. The first time Hiro meets her, she has a fish in her mouth. And he wants to fly with, oh god, it is just happy. It's, boy, just imagine like just super sexy, like 02, just whispering in his ear, "Aye, sir." I just ruined all of that for you forever, and I'm kinda not sorry.
I
Final thoughts.
fucking hate you.
Okay,
I hate you.
I guess that's a good segue into final thoughts.
My final thoughts is I hate you, Andrew. Shut the fuck up.
Okay, I'll go first just because I'm very mixed on this show. I saw A1 Pictures and Trigger, and I was particularly excited, intrigued by that combination of things. And I've come to realize I don't adore everything that is Trigger, but I at least think they're all kinda interesting or go somewhere. I think this one is probably the one that has the most of an identity crisis I've seen from them. I don't know if it's trying to be serious pseudo-commentary. I don't know if it's trying to be cool mechs. I don't know if it's trying to be hardcore, like, relationship stuff. I know it's trying to be symbolism, but it feels very confused. I'm intrigued, because it can go in a lot of different places. Some good, some bad. Some interesting, some really predictable. And I don't know, because this is original, and it's going everywhere. I don't know. So I kind of was at a point where it's like, I don't really care to watch the sub much anymore. That being said, sometimes when I stop watching a sub, I will pick up a dub and be like, maybe the dub will be good. This dub's great. Like, everybody sounds solid, and like, not everybody is a stellar performance, but everybody is at least a pretty good to competent performance, and there are some really, really strong deliveries and performance. I think they're directed very well. They do a lot. I think they do a lot of good with what they're given with. I'm still not sure where the show's going to go. I'm concerned. That being said, I think I'm willing to dive a little deeper inside to see what's awaiting for me at the end of this high.
My thoughts are basically the same. It's been a pretty interesting show so far. It very clearly wants to be Evangelion, and sometimes it feels like it's trying a little too hard in that area. But I mean, if you're going to try and pull inspiration from something, Game is a pretty good pick, I suppose. And I mean, and at the very least, it's trying to put something of a new spin on some of the dynamics in that show. And it certainly got a lot of visual ambition because we haven't really talked too much about how the show
my
looks.
God.
The show looks like really
It's
good.
like I couldn't talk about that since that's not what we're here to talk about. Some of the framing and composition and like the individual shots and sequences, like the script is so in your face, but so many of the visuals and the screen can tell you so much. You don't need to tell me that you and I are the same. Show it in the frame, because the framing's so good and the script is so in my face. It's so at odds, but I love the way the show works. It's so good. I love it. I love it. Ugh, the director in me is so... I'm sorry. I took that from you. I had to go. It's so good.
It's okay. I kind of expected you to do that. Okay, so I also don't have a clue what the show is going for yet, and time will tell if it evolves into anything meaningful or simply stays content at recycling things from Ava. But in the meantime, it certainly has a very strong dub, and I really have to give props to Clifford Chapin and the rest of the cast for bringing their A-game to this, and I'm really hoping that the show proves to be worth that investment.
I have to say what y'all said, basically. I'm going to be very brief and to the point. I have no idea what this show is going. I don't know what it's trying to accomplish just yet. I hope it turns out good. I'm keeping my expectations sort of midway. Like, it could go really good. It could be really good, or it could end up like an absolute disaster. But at least it looks really great, and it sounds really great.
So what you're saying is your expectations are at half-mast.
Yeah, basically. Here's the thing. I'm hoping for a Gurren Lagann. I'm expecting a Guilty Crown.
Ooh.
Oh no.
Even I wasn't going to.
You said so much, but said so little. Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because both shows are absolutely gorgeous to look at. One of them ends great. The other we don't talk about.
If it at least finds a middle ground, I'll be happy.
Yeah. If it's, say, somewhere safely between those two, then yeah, I'll be satisfied.
I guess that leaves me. So again, to preface this, mecha and sci-fi, not my cup of tea. Evangelion, never seen it. Probably don't plan to anytime soon, and people can yell at me about that later. In terms of the show, I also don't know where it's going. And it's, the problem for me is, because this generally isn't the first kind of thing I would be interested in, it's a little difficult trying to hold my attention with it. I'm doing my damnedest, though. Because there are really some interesting parts to it, and I really am enjoying it. It's just, it's not normally my thing, so it's very hard for me to really latch onto and get excited about it. But holy shit, this dub is awesome. I mean, let's face it, perfect director for this job. Let's face it. It's a lot of attention to detail. It's a fun cast, with some, again, like I was saying before, underutilized or newer voices, and some surprises along the way from the Houston area. But there's a lot of strong points to it, and I think, if anything, despite me having a hard time getting into the show and it keeping my attention, the dub is the reason why I'm still hanging on to this show right now. Because the dub is helping things become a lot more clear to me, and it's keeping my attention, and I'm enjoying the performances all too well. It's for me, it's, out of all the shows I've been watching this season so far, it's one of the strongest dubs for me, and I'm really, really enjoying this a lot. It's just, again, not the first genre I would dive into if I was picking stuff. Sorry.
Yes. Okay. Alright, that's pretty fair. So, does anyone have anything they want to plug real quick? Here.
I do things on the internet. Good night, everyone.
Well, she's plugging what we're doing right now, but as for me, as well as you too, Jet, and that one time Hardy, funny enough, you can also find us on Surreal Resolutions Podcast ONA, where we talk about anime on a more semi-regular basis about general news and predictions and or junk. You can also find Hardy and myself as moderators over at the Funimation Forum and the Funimation Discord. I was a mod on the Discord for a while. They finally made me a mod on the forum as well.
Yes, I have help now.
He finally has help. He's been doing solo this whole time, and now he's ready to link and try and pilot this doggy style with somebody else.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Okay.
That's not how Franks work, guys.
What do you mean that's not how it works?
You're
They are
doing it wrong.
literally doggy style.
Clearly in this show. No, clearly in the show you're doing it wrong. I have not seen two men piloting a Franks. You're doing it wrong.
Maybe that'll come up later.
Just to clarify, I am always the outside spoon.
Always. You know what? I'm okay with
It's
that.
funny. It's funny because that's how I picture it. You actually the one piloting, and then Andrew has the one taking the female position in this situation.
Look, I've had to grovel a couple of times in my life. At the very least, I'm doing it with a friend.
Okay, alright, so anyway, as for me, aside from finding me on the Twitters at Divine Data, you can occasionally read my stuff on my blog, Animation Infinity, and I occasionally write reviews for the Fandom Post. I'm doing My Hero Academia Season 3 next
Yay!
Okay, and as for this show, you can catch the sub version on Crunchyroll, and the dub, of course, you can watch on Funimation. If you watch it on Funimation, you can do a free trial for 14 days. But be aware that if you don't kill your trial after 14 days, you will be charged. And,
Just your friendly weekly reminder, everyone.
Yep. Okay, and I don't really have much else to say here. So,
Side note, if anyone's interested in following my shit, I am at Lilac Anime Review on Twitter. Spelled REPUE. Aside from me stating I do shit on the internet, I probably should actually say what I do.
I'm also on Twitter at MangaMan9000 under the name Classy Spartan. I know it's confusing.
And I am on Twitter at Spaceman Hardy.
Okay.
And Jet, if anyone's interested in seeing anything from all of us in general, how can they find us?
Yes, you can find the Dumb Talk podcast on YouTube. Of course, you're probably here already. You can also follow us on the Twitters. We do have Instagram, right?
We have a Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, and a Twitch channel, actually.
Okay, cool. Okay, awesome. So, yes, we have all of those things, so you can catch us there. Okay, and so I guess that's more or less it for tonight. So, to all of us here at Dub Talk, thanks for listening, and we will see you next time.
Alright, otaku on, everybody. And
Keep it
remember,
manly.
doggy style will save the world.
Oh, dear sweet baby Jesus.
Legit question. If they
What?
change positions, would that change, like, the configuration of the mech? Like, do you grow mecha wings if you do spread eagle in the cockpit?
Who knows?
Good night, everybody!
That's one way to
Good
end an
night.
episode. Good night, guys.
Was it
Good
good
night.
for you?
It was good.
No!
It was
Not with you assholes.
Okay.
Not with you assholes. 3 guys and 1 girl. The fuck?
Kiss me now 君を味わいたいそんな